Cool. Alrighty. Hope you're all having a good night tonight. I am definitely in a different background than I usually am. If you are on Facebook Live, good to see ya. We are doing our Scandinavia tour talk. We are still going to do our tour Tuesday at 7:30 also. So I thought we'd just share the Scandinavia tour info session. Good. So while we're waiting for other people to join here, if you see, this is a different background than maybe my office or my home. I am in Nashville on a family vacation. My brother lives in Florida and with his wife and kids, and then the rest of my family lives in kind of Omaha, Gretna area. And so we're all decided to come to Nashville for like a Christmas. And just to get together, because my brother is getting stationed in Italy in April. So it's kind of like a get together before they depart. So then I guess next year, we'll have to go to Italy and visit him. So that'll be really cool. So we're in Nashville. We're in a house. We're here all week. It looks like another snowstorm is coming, which is interesting only because Nashville doesn't really get snow. And so when it does snow, there's not really any way to get rid of it other than for it to melt on its own. And Cindy and I were here last year in about the same time, a little bit later in January, and it snowed and we got stuck here. And so we were kind of watching to see if we need to change our flights, leave earlier or not. So I don't know. We'll see what's going on. But all right. So again, welcome. This is our tour info session for Scandinavia 2025. Whether you are already signed up for the trip or interested in the trip, this is a great opportunity to kind of hear a little bit more about it, all the ins and outs. So what the plan is I will do a little bit about Excite. Most of the people you know us by now. A little bit about our journey with overseas tours. Then, of course, we'll go through the Scandinavia tour. I'll pull up the itinerary, pull up the brochure. I won't read it word for word. You can all do that. So we'll go through day by day and kind of talk about it a little bit. And then we'll go over frequently asked questions. And then if I don't answer anything that you're curious about, you can certainly type it in the chat. You type it in the comments over here. This video is also being recorded, so you can rewatch it later. We'll share it on YouTube and we'll share the link with you. So obviously, exciting experiences. My name is JJ Bell. I own the company with my aunt Cindy, and we started the business. This is year 12 now. Can't believe it. And we do group tours all over the U.S. and Europe. So we've had a lot of experience. We have about 80 some tours a year. This year we'll have almost 100 tours. So, from 1 days to these multi-day tours overseas. We've also planned our own overseas tours, and we work with coordinators as well to plan them for us. And we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. The way we got started with overseas tours was we partnered with a college in Omaha, and they asked us if we could do a tour to Ireland. And we were new. This is a long time ago, 8 years ago. And we were like, sure, let's do it. We've never done it before, but we'll do it. And the tour ended up being absolutely amazing. We met some amazing people, and we got a great relationship with Derek out of it, among other things, and Brian. And just that really was the blossom of our overseas trips. And now they have really exploded to travel all over Europe. So, and more than one a year. We used to do one. Now we have more than one. So that's sort of how we've been doing it. And that was 8 years ago. So we have done everything from, like I said, Ireland, Italy, the Christmas markets of Europe, Spain, Greece, multiple times. And so now, and we've done Mediterranean cruises. So this year we have several tours. We have Greece, we have London and Paris, we have the UK and Scotland, obviously with Scandinavia, and we also have the Christmas markets of Europe too at the end of the year. So lots of opportunities to get overseas and travel. And so we hope that you'll join us on one of them. And if you are going on Scandinavia, it's going to be magical. So the Scandinavia tour is June 14th through the 23rd. It is a partnership with another tour company that put it together for us. So we handpicked the things that we're going to do based on what they said we should do. I mean, since it's our first time to Scandinavia, we didn't want to just make it up as we go, or like make it up on our own. We wanted experts to let us know. And we met these folks at our ABA conference, which is the biggest group tour conference in the world, really. So they're great. And so what will happen is when you go on this tour, you always have an Excite host, which we'll talk about. And then we will have a guide from there also. So you'll have two people taking care of you, making sure you have a great time on tour. All right, well, let's get into it a little bit. So June 14th is a travel day. So it's a good opportunity for me to talk about flights. So the way that Excite books flights, 90% of the time, is that once you put your deposit down, we will call you. You'll get a confirmation, and then we'll call you and we'll talk about flights if the tour is coming up. This one is getting closer, so we will start to book flights for this soon, probably in the next couple weeks. So if you are joining us or already joined, not to worry, we haven't booked any flights yet, but we will call you, and we will already have an itinerary picked out with an airline, either United, American, Delta, one of the major carriers, and then we'll go over it with you and the price, and then we book it right there with you in your name, almost as if we were you. We're just doing it for you. And that way we're getting the best retail price. It comes with the most flexibility. There's lots of options. We can also customize it a little bit too if you want a little bit different flight or you want to upgrade your seats or any of that. It's easier to manage if we do it that way. We have done group airfare in the past when we've had groups come to us. You don't get the best prices anymore at all, and they're extremely hard to work with and change. So this has been great. So what we will do is once we book the flights, whether you're flying from Omaha, Kansas City, Denver, Minneapolis, Sioux Falls, anywhere, we can fly you out of anywhere. The guides leave from Omaha. So the guide for this tour will leave from Omaha. So if you are coming from Omaha, we will tell you what time to meet at the airport. Your guide will be by the desk for maybe, let's just say United. And then you'll see them. They'll be in one of these polo shirts. And they will then help you get checked in. Your bags will be all checked in. And then they will fly with you overseas. Typically, all of the flights from Omaha have connection, especially overseas. So you'll have a layover. It could be Chicago, it could be Newark, it could be Atlanta, could be Denver. We don't know yet until we pick out the schedule. So, but your guy will be there to get you through all of that. If you're coming from someplace other than Omaha, typically you will meet up in the connecting city. So let's just say that the flights from Omaha is Omaha, Chicago, to Copenhagen. So it seems to me that like Kansas City would fly to Chicago, Denver fly to Chicago, and everybody would sort of meet there. And then you'd meet up with a group in Chicago in the airport at the gate for the departing flight overseas. And then everybody flies there together. So one way or the other, you end up meeting up with a guide. If not though, if you have your own flights or you do a different schedule, that's fine too. We will just coordinate with you, and the guide will have your cell phone number, and we'll make sure you know where to meet the group when they arrive, whether that's at the hotel or another place. We'll take care of any sort of coordination when it comes to that. So no worries whatsoever. It's really so easy, I promise. Okay, so when you traveled there, you're so excited. It's gonna be amazing. And the first day so the day you fly overnight, and then the next morning you arrive in Copenhagen, and we will get our bags together, and then you will meet your Scandinavian tour guide in Copenhagen who will have the motor coach, okay? And then they will start touring. And so on the first day, you're gonna do a city tour, obviously get your bearings of the beautiful city of Copenhagen, the Copenhagen Cathedral, the old stock exchange, Tivoli Gardens, etc. Just absolutely stunning city. The guides are amazing there. Just a great way to understand what Copenhagen is and what the vibe is. And your adrenaline's gonna be running because it's new and exciting. And so the other reason that we do a city tour is because if we have some sort of delay with flights, because it's life, it happens, then you don't really miss that much because we're gonna stay in Copenhagen for several nights. So we don't book anything really crazy because we don't want to miss it. So after we do the city tour, then we will check into our hotel, and then you'll have a welcome dinner, and you will also have a canal cruise in the evening. So it'll be a beautiful, just a spectacular day, seeing the city in different, different light, really, literally, and an opportunity to kind of get to know everybody that's on the tour, and relatively, you're going to be doing, seeing things, but it's not a lot of like coordinating, catching up. So it's a pretty relaxing day, enjoying the city of Copenhagen. Okay, day 2. Oh, day 3. Now we're on day 3. Okay, so now today is going to be like the food and culture of Copenhagen, right? So you're going to have a local guide that's going to take you to some open air and more like the actual closed markets, trying different types of food that Copenhagen and Denmark is famous for. That's going to be like, I was going to pull the brochure for you, so I'm going to share my screen and I will show you what you're going to see. Okay, so here's the brochure. You can find it on our website. We'll talk about that at the end. Okay, so we are on day 3. So day 3, okay, like I was gonna say hot dog, but I didn't want to speak wrong and be weird that Denmark, Copenhagen hot dogs. But yes, Danish hot dogs, flødeboller, and so many like amazing different eats. So technically lunch isn't included in this day, but you're going to be eating all day. So, that it's kind of is in a way. You'll notice what meals are included based on the letters at the end of the paragraph. So when you're reading through the brochure day by day, you can see like D for dinner, L for lunch, B for breakfast. Okay. All right. So then after that in the afternoon, you'll be transferred with your local guide by private coach to our local brewery for a guided tour and tasting of Danish beer. It's amazing. You'll love it. Even if you're not a beer drinker, it's still very interesting, and it's fun to just kind of immerse yourself in the culture and have some. It's great. It's a really fun experience. And then in this evening, you'll have some time to explore on your own. This brings up, excuse me, I'm gonna take a quick drink of water. This brings up a good point here. The hotels are listed in the brochure, and they are in the city center. So you can walk to everything. You can go out and at night if you're into going out to bars or different kinds of restaurants or shopping or any of that. The hotels are really cool and nice, and they're in, like the center of the city. So we try on all of our European tours, it's like that, unless it's like in Tuscany where you're out in a villa somewhere, but you'll be in the city center. So the second thing I want to tell you about free time in general. So our tours are a combination of touring and vacationing. So there is some time that you can create your own experience, but your local guide and your site coordinator can help you make plans. So whether it's a special place for dinner, some sort of activity, a show, just kind of tell you about the area. You'll already know kind of where you are because you'll have had now 2 days of touring in Copenhagen. And other people are doing other things too, and people by this time have definitely made friends. So you end up kind of hanging out together and like, hey, let's go check out this. So if you're like a single traveler, you will still be a part of a group doing something. So you're not going to be like just left alone or anything like that. So, but it's a good balance. Or if you're like, hey, you know what, I've had a really big day, I'm going to have dinner and enjoy the, enjoy the evening or go to bed early, that's great too. I see some comments here. Hard to read on here. Okay, so let's see here. Now we are on day 4. On Facebook, we are doing this on Zoom, and so you can see the brochure on my screen. You can find the link to the Zoom conference. You can still join in the event on Facebook, the Scandinavia Tour Info Session event. So you can join there also and look through the brochure. Otherwise, just go to our website, excitemytravel.com, and you can follow along also. Okay, day 4. Now we're going to get out of Copenhagen and we're going to go explore some castles and palaces. And so you're going to head to northern Denmark, where you're going to find the Halrod city and the Frederiksborg Castle. It's the largest Renaissance complex in the Nordic region, It's 17th century. It's absolutely stunning. It's a fascinating tour about kind of the Renaissance from a Nordic perspective. After that, you're going to go to the Carlsberg. Well, you're going to go to the Friedensburg Palace and Gardens, and that also is absolutely stunning. That is the picture, the little it's like the red castle palace up there with the water fountain. That is the palace there. You'll have a guided tour of that as well, and learn its unique history and how it played into the Denmark and Danish culture. And then the last thing you do is the Kronborg Castle. This is on the bottom right picture here. That is a World Heritage Site, UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's also famous for being the setting of Shakespeare's Hamlet. So really cool, really interesting places. Again, a completely different side of Denmark. You get to see more of the countryside and learn more of the history than just in Copenhagen, the city, the big city, which is beautiful. And then after that, you'll come back to the city. All right, so day 5, June 18th, this is a free day in Copenhagen. Again, most of our tour, all of our overseas tours have these days. This is a really great way to customize the trip, and you can even do it before you leave. So you're like, hey, Jay, I want to do something on this day. I'm not sure what to do. Here's what I would like to do. And we talk about in the brochure, you could ski, you could rock climb, you could have a spa day, you could do a guided canal tour. There's tons of museums and history. There's other excursions out of the city that you could do also. So there's lots of things to do. You can also just walk around and shop, try out all the amazing restaurants and food. So there will be plenty of things to do. Again, we'll have plenty of ways to help you pack that day full of sites. Or if you're like, hey, I've toured a lot and I'm ready to take a break, just relax and enjoy. All right, day 6. Day 6, this is so cool. We did this. This is a travel day. You're going to go from Copenhagen to Stockholm, Sweden by train. So we'll get you to the train station, get everybody's luggage on board, and then you're going to take a train. It's a 5-hour train journey to Stockholm. And we did this in Spain. We did it from Sevilla to Madrid. And what's cool about the train is you obviously have reserved seats, and then they have a dining car and a bar car. So we went and had we ate lunch and we stood around the bar and talked with all the guests and just had a great time watching the countryside pass by. Just such a cool way to see it, and to do that in Scandinavia, it's going to be stunning. Much different terrain than what we were traveling through in Spain for sure. So it's a great way, again, to see the countryside and just relax and get to know people. And then once we get to the city, Stockholm, we will transfer you to your new hotel where you'll be for the remainder of the tour. And then we can point you out to some great restaurants and some fun things to do in Stockholm for your first night. Day 7. Day 7 starts your tour of the Venice of the North. After breakfast with your guided walking tour, start with the Gamla Stan, known as the Old Town, which is Stockholm's original city center, and consists of Stockholm, an island, and its inlets. You can stroll along cobblestone streets and learn the vast history of it. There's tons of different churches and chapels. You're going to view the Royal Palace and catch the changing of the Royal Guards, which is absolutely fascinating and so cool and interesting to do. So you should definitely check that out. And then this afternoon is all about the Vikings. So you're going to visit Vasa, which is the most visited museum in Scandinavia, and you can actually tour a Viking ship, a 17th century Viking ship, and learn all about Nordic culture. And it has huge rave reviews. It's so interesting and fascinating, and again, completely different side of your Scandinavian tour. That is day 7. All right, day 8. You're going to enjoy, this is really cool, and I love ABBA, so this is going to be fun. So you're going to enjoy breakfast at your hotel. It's included every day of the tour, and then you're going to go to the ABBA Museum. Whether you're a fan or not, it's a really fun, interactive museum, getting to understand a world phenomenon that came out of Stockholm, and it's just a really fun morning. It's just a blast. And if you love ABBA, you're really gonna love it after you get to know it more through the ABBA Museum. And then this afternoon, you're going to do a culinary walking tour where you'll take in sights while tasting local delicacies such as cinnamon buns, semla, and katbuller, better known for this as Swedish meatballs. Then you're going to head back to the hotel for dinner and sightseeing on your own. The food's amazing. Again, a great way to understand a culture and to get to know it is through its food. And so that'll be really cool. We've lined up some really cool spots to try and taste. And it'll just really expand your horizon of food, having visited these places in Stockholm. Okay, day 9. After breakfast at your hotel, the group will board your private shuttle and head to Skansen, which is an open-air museum. It's the world's oldest open-air museum, showcasing the history and traditions of Sweden. Experience the music, dance, and traditions of the old historic environments and their Nordic animals. You can view and interact with animals from the land and sea, as well as historic environments and buildings from all over Sweden. Enjoy learning about Sweden and its people and culture through the past, present, and future during your time here. It'll be great. After the tour, you'll go back to your hotel in Stockholm, and then tonight is a farewell dinner, which is always so fabulous. The food on our tours is amazing. We pick local restaurants, highly rated, that just really have a great atmosphere and amazing food. And the farewell dinners are always so fun because by that time you get to know everybody really well. The size of the groups is small, so you'll have 20 new friends that all have at least traveling in common, not to mention a bunch of other things. We found out that we basically had like long lost neighbors on tours before, or their cousin showed up for a tour, didn't even sign up for it. So all kinds of things have happened on our trips. So you'll do dinner together, and then usually the group does something fun afterwards, like go out and to a bar and have fun, or another cool speakeasy or something. If whoever wants to go can go do that. And then day 10 is your last day, and so you'll enjoy some time in the morning before your flights leave. We will obviously have breakfast and then pack up everybody's bags and get everybody to the airport, and then again your Excite guide will fly home with you as far as the Excite guide goes to Omaha, and everybody else gets back to their cities. And that's your 10-day trip to Scandinavia. So it's great. Stockholm and Denmark, Copenhagen, just 2 amazing cities, and then the countryside around them. It's the best way to do it, and it's the right amount of time in the best time of year to visit with a great company that will just do wonders for us. So what are some of the details of the trip? So we talked about the date, June 14th to the 23rd. It's 10 days. There are 10 meals included. The price also includes your guide service, both your Excite guide and your local guide, admissions listed in the itinerary, all the private transfers, the meals and activities that are listed in the itinerary, and your hotel accommodations. The double occupancy price is $3,499. It doesn't include your airfare, but we've gotten great airfare rates, so it's totally worth it. The hotels are amazing, the food's amazing. I mean, it's top notch. I always say get what you pay for, especially with travel. Totally true in our sense. And I think if you talk to anybody or read any of the reviews, you'll understand why they are what they are and where we stay. Like I said, for airfare earlier, we will call you and book your airfare. Any flights to Europe, it's usually about $800 to $1,000, $1,200, just depends. We will know more here in a couple weeks. So the deposit for this tour is $750 per person, and it's due when you book. We will bill this tour out around March 14th. So that's when, you will get a final invoice for the tour, and then you can just send a check or credit card back with it, and we will, run that for you. You can see the hotels listed the hotels are listed on the brochure as well. I always have to mention that the itinerary is subject to slight variation due to, traffic and weather and availability. But we will do what we said we were going to do on the tour, or like something comparable or better. We always make it right for the guests. If something comes up and, it's travels, something, happens, we won't just leave everybody high and dry. So it hasn't happened that often, but it happens sometimes when you travel. The tour does require walking on uneven terrain and different modes of transportation. Like I said, you're going to have trains, buses, airplanes. So if you aren't a mobile person, there might be other tours that are better suited. Not that there's a lot of like hiking or anything. There's no hiking or anything like that, but you're gonna have some walking tours. So you should be able to do that. And again, it's uneven terrain, the streets and everything are cobblestone and brick and all different kinds. So it's not quite the same as in the US where they have like nice big sidewalks everywhere. So just be prepared for that. The next thing is trip insurance. We offer it through TravelX. They have 3 different plans that you can, basically different coverage levels. What I suggest what you'll need if you want to look into how much the insurance costs, because it depends on the person, you're going to need your a little bit of info about yourself, just like your name and date of birth, and then you're going to need how much the trip costs, which would be $34.99, and then the dates of travel, and then you can read about what it covers as far as trip cancellation, as far as interruptions, baggage, all health insurance, all that stuff. So that is the story with insurance. It's not required. You can certainly use anybody else that you would like to use, but we've always had great luck with travel insurance. Most of our clients do book it with TravelX. You do need a valid passport to come with us to Europe. They are getting them done really quick, 3 weeks, I think, maybe a month. So you have plenty of time to get your passport, but you do need that. Eventually we will need that information from you, but we will reach out to you and get all of that. So that's no big deal. And then they are going to have the EU travel visa, but it's so easy. The cost is already built into the tour. We will fill out the paperwork with you. So it's really simple. It's really, really simple. Okay. What about refunds? So deposits are non-refundable 60 days prior to departure. We will just give you tour credit for it. Okay, so we don't want you to lose out on your money, but we have had to pay for things 60 days in advance. So we will just issue you a tour credit if you are unable to go within the 60 days. If you purchase travel insurance, then you would just file a claim with them, and then you would get the cash from them. And then full refunds for the tour may be available after the 60 days with insurance. That's true. After that, it's travel credit with Excite. Okay, so either way, you're not going to lose out with your money. It's just if you want it back in cash after the 60 days, it would be in the form of a tour credit, or you have to have travel insurance, then you would file the claim with them. For your flights, since we booked them individually, if you cancel the flights and you don't purchase the insurance, you would get that credit back in your name. It's not under Excite. It's not Excite Group airfare. It's nothing like that. It just goes back to you, and you can use it on any trip. I mean, it doesn't have to be with Excite. It's just like a credit with United or whoever, and you can use it for anything, and it's good for a long time. So plenty of time to use it. But we will help if that comes up. We will obviously help you with all of that. So all those little details, nothing to worry about. We were always able and willing to help with those things. Okay, let's see here. We had some questions about global entry and mobile passport. I have global entry because I travel a lot, obviously, and it's good for overseas. If you have TSA pre-check, it's basically the same thing, but TSA is only for the United States. So you skip the lines, the shorter side in the US. But when you come through customs, you need pre-check. There we go. Sorry, we lost you for a little bit. So if you want to do TSA pre-check, or if you want to do global entry, I would start working on that. It doesn't take 6 months or anything, but it's a little bit more complicated to do. It is a lot of times if you have a travel credit card, they will look on your benefits because sometimes they reimburse you for it. So like our Amex, it reimburses it for us. So, we can, that was what we did with it. So I would start online. On the government, don't use a service. Just go to the .gov website and sign up for the global entry there. You do not have to have global entry. Sometimes it helps save time in customs. Sometimes there is no line. I just got back from Mexico, and it was so cool because I walked up to this kiosk and they scanned me in and I went through. It took a second. So it is, if you are going to plan on doing other travel out overseas, it's totally worth the time and money. but not required. We're not going to leave anybody behind. We always have people that don't have it, so it's not, it's not a problem not to have it. So just if you're going to travel more, it's worth it if you have time. So the mobile passport, yeah, you can. We did that, but I've seen airports are not using that anymore. It just depends on the airport. Basically, what you do is you download this app on your phone, and then you put your passport information in there. But like I said, some airports don't even use that anymore. So just sort of depends. I would just say if you either get global entry or don't worry about it, and everybody will get through customs, and we will meet you on the other side, and then continue on. So no worries if you don't have those things. We talked about insurance. We talked about the deposit. The group size, again, we're taking about 20. So it's filled up really quick. We do have spaces available still. So, if you want to get signed up, please do. But we take small groups overseas, and it's because we want to do cool, unique things. So we're not going to be eating at big chain restaurants. We're not going to be staying in, some hotel out in the countryside. These are like places that our group fits, and we can do really cool things. And the group moves a little quicker because you don't have so many people. It's just a really, really cool experience. People that have went loved the group sizes of that size. So 20, 25 people is what we'll take to Scandinavia. Okay, if you are on the webinar, I'm going to change gears here, and we're going to talk about how do you get signed up. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen on the webinar. This is our website. You go to excitemytravel.com. You would click on multi-day tours, and then you would scroll down, and all the tours are in date order, okay? And then you will see for every tour, we can actually just go down to Scandinavia. Lots of tours. Okay, here we are, Scandinavia. Okay, so you'll see the pickup location, a brief description, pickup location, which is airport, you meet at the airport. And then you can either view downloadable brochure, which is the PDF, okay, which I'll show you, or you can view tour details. And that actually takes you, if you hit view tour details, it takes you to this page right here, okay? This is the actual tour page. And here you can see reviews, you can see the date. Then if you hit this little read more button on the side right here, it actually has the same text as the brochure. All the same information is right there, what's included, all this stuff, okay? You can also view the PDF brochure from this point as well. Just click on that and it'll pull up this document, okay? So you can then, at that point, you can either sign up online using this over here. You can see double occupancy, single occupancy. It'll change the price, shows you the deposit amount, hit the book now button, and it takes you to the booking page where it's going to ask you about, how many people are going to go, and can ask you some information about yourself, obviously, and then put your deposit down. You can put your deposit down in a couple different ways. You can put it down via credit card. You can use ACH, which is the account and routing number at the bottom of your check. And then you can also send in a check. That's also fine as well. If you don't want to sign up online, you can actually you can view our PDF version. Let me get it here, right here. You can print this whole thing off, or you can just print the order form off, which is the last pages. And it has the information that we will eventually collect from you, like, did you want us to book your airfare, or you can do it on your own? If so, from what airport, Omaha or other? It has the name as it appears on your passport, date of birth, passport number, all that stuff. If you don't have your passport right away, it's fine. You can still sign up for the trip. Just leave it blank. We'll reach out to you when we need it. And then you have the ability there to put down either your credit card information or just that you're sending in a check. And then you just mail in the paper form, okay? The other way you can do it is just call. Just call our office and we can do all of it for you. We can take your information over the phone. We can take your payment information over the phone. We can answer all the questions that you have. So it's really convenient and easy to do that as well. Probably the most convenient and easy. Okay, that is how to sign up for the trip and the website. Brochure. We can mail them to you also. If you call our office, you want us to mail you a brochure, we can do that also. If you don't have a printer at home, we can mail you one, whatever is easy for you. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing here. Okay, to my attendees, are there any questions out there? What am I missing? Let me go in the chat here. And let's see, do we have any questions? Oops. Let's see there. Okay, let me look on Facebook here really quick and see what we got over here. Yeah, so Dean, to see the shared screen, you have to be on the Zoom, which I'm doing over on my computer right here. But it's being recorded, so you can see it there. Or you can go to our website, excitemytravel.com, and you can go to the Scandinavia tour and multi-day tours and look at the brochure there as well. Jan says, thanks for answering my questions about global entry. Of course, you're welcome. Let's see what we got here in Facebook. Let's see. Great. Watching. Good. Okay, another question that people often have is, like, what's the age range that goes on the trips? It sounds like you're going out and stuff. Our ages for the tour is really 35 to 80. I mean, as long as you're mobile, you want to come, go. We have younger, we've had some 21-year-old go. We've had a few people go with their parents. But this is an investment for sure, an investment in yourself. And so, if you're a little younger, not as many people that are a little younger have that kind of disposable income to do something like this. But it does happen. And I would tell you that everybody feels welcome and heard and it has an amazing time. It's such a cool vibe. I mean, that's why our company is called Excite. It's such an exciting environment. The people are so nice. The group that you're with, the guides we have are so amazing. So you will have a great time with the people that come on our trips. Okay, and let's see what else. Hi, Diane. Hi, Marlene. Hi, Linda. Ashley. She's in the next house over. That's funny. What else? Oh, good question. Okay, Jan has another question. 1 second. Jan said, how much money should we bring? I would only bring enough euros, if you even get euros, just to kind of get you through the first day or two. You can always get euros there from the ATM. It's the best exchange rate. We will point one out to you. I would not do the exchange at the airport. It's expensive. Because they're charging you another fee for the convenience. So anytime I go overseas, if I bring any cash, I just get a little bit to get me through the first day, usually from a trip I did before. Otherwise, I just find an ATM when I'm there. And then I use my credit card for everything else. What I will tell you is find a credit card that doesn't have foreign transaction fees. Otherwise, you find that you're getting these like nickel and dimed on those charges, like at the buying wine or whatever, buying all that stuff, and it adds up a little bit. So I would suggest finding a card that doesn't have a foreign transaction fee. There are tons of them. Any sort of travel credit card is going to have no transaction fee. So check that out. Otherwise, if you're a big shopper, bring a lot. If you're not, then, most things you pay for is a couple meals, and it's not super expensive. So, maybe a couple €100, maybe €500, to cover like drinks and food for 10 days. So, yeah. Hey, Pam and John, thanks for being on. Good to see you. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm going to talk about flights and the guide. Let's look up, I'm going to look up and see who the guide is for this trip here. Bear with me 1 second. I thought I had them all memorized, but there's a lot of trips. Let's see, drive, let's see, and guide request. Here we go. Okay, this tour is with Jama. So Jama will be taking the Scandinavia tour this year in June. So she's amazing. You'll have a blast. It'll be so fun. So fun. What else? Anything else I can think of? Let's see here. Phone service issues. Okay, great. Electrical outlets. Yes, you will need a converter. You can get them cheap on Amazon. Get the European converter. Nowadays, they have like every plug imaginable on them. So I would get one. If you could bring a lot of the electronics, get two. Sometimes they come in packs of 2, so good. Yep, you'll need a converter. And then for phones, so in my case, like I have Verizon, so I didn't even let them know. Just if I have the unlimited plan, I have the unlimited plan. So when I go over there, you get on the roaming and it just charges you $10 a day for me. I would if you're unsure, maybe just check with your carrier. It's usually similar on all the major carriers. So just check it out. If you are on like Viera or something else, I'm not quite sure. So I would just do a quick call to your carrier and say, sometimes if you're not on the unlimited plan, they'll have like a travel package plan and you can get like a few bucks a day or something like that. But I would highly suggest doing that. It's so helpful to have your phone on you. And the guy will have a group text. So, you don't have to do that, but if somebody in your party has a phone that works, it works wonders. So I would say do it. Yeah, James on, great, yeah. Also, don't bring anything overseas that you don't want to lose. Everything for the tour is casual, so you can, it's going to be summer-ish, so it'd be a bit cool. So, I mean, jeans and a jacket, it will be appropriate. You won't need a winter coat or anything. I mean, it's June, middle of June. So, we'll go over what to pack and all that stuff, later. Typically, like a month before the tour departs, we have another big meeting with people that are going on the trip, and we cover, we get closer with the weather and talk about other things like that. So that's also nothing to worry about at this point yet. But bring your phone, bring a great book if you're into reading books or puzzle books or anything like that. And then, like I said, just casual clothes and be ready to have a blast because it's going to be so fun. Anybody else? Okay, well, everybody, I really, really appreciate you jumping on. If you're on the live version on Facebook Live, if you have more questions, you can email us, info@excitedmytravel.com. You can call our office, 402-293-9282. Again, go to the website. You can read the entire brochure, day by day. When you're on tour, you'll have a day-by-day itinerary on our app, so you'll see what you're doing all day long. That comes out much closer to the tour. But so more questions. Otherwise, get signed up, talk to your friends, get them signed up. Let's go to Scandinavia with Jema and have an absolute blast and see a part of the world that a lot of people don't see regularly. Lots of people go to France and Italy and all that stuff, but to go over and do Scandinavia like this is amazing. So check it out. Let us know if you have any questions, and we cannot wait to travel with you. Alrighty, everybody have a great evening, and we will catch you all later. If you're on Facebook right now, guys, I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. We are going to do our tour Tuesday. Well, I'm going to do it from here. Here at 7:30, so about in a little bit, about less than an hour. So join me then, and we'll go over some other stuff. So I will see you all back here at 7:30 tonight for our Tour Tuesday.